Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Ridgecrest City Council. I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting to order with roll call.
Mayor Bruin,
Here.
Mr. Blades,
Present.
Mr. Rajaratnam,
Present.
Mr. Heyman,
Present.
Mr. Gorman.
Present.
We have 5 present and we have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the approval of our agenda for this evening. I do believe we need to add one item, City Attorney.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and council members. We would request that the council vote on adding an item to the end of the agenda, which would be a closed session. Brown Act allows addition of items to the agenda when certain conditions are met. The information that will be subject to that discussion, if the council approves it, was received after the agenda was posted. There's an urgency to it, and not having the closed session would prejudice the city. I would ask that the council consider adding an item for closed session at the end of the meeting for potential litigation under 54956.9D4. It would take a motion, a second, and an approval of the added item, and then the item would obviously be considered at the end of the meeting.
Okay. So we have a request from the City Attorney to add a closed section item as presented. Do I have any discussion or disagreement with the board, the council? Hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented with the addendum of adding the closed session to the end?
So moved.
I would ask that the council take separate action. on
Take
the
separate
addition,
action?
And
So
then
first-
approve the agenda.
So the first action would be a motion for the, there's no discussion, sir.
Yes, there is.
I will call for it when it's time.
Well, I'm talking about his amendment.
Okay. I have a request to amend the agenda as presented to add a closed session item to the end of the agenda. I will go ahead and call for discussion. I will allow you, sir, to say whatever you'd like.
Well, I want to ask, first off, is this, he's not giving enough description of it even to meet the Brown Act. If it's an item in public record already, then they need to identify what's in the public record even for closed session. The people have a right to know. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Is there a motion for the council to go ahead and add the agenda item as presented?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and second. Roll call.
Mayor Bruin,
Aye.
Mr. Blades,
Aye.
Mr. Rajaratnam,
Aye.
Mr. Heyman,
Aye.
Mr. Gorman.
Aye.
5 ayes, motion adds.
Okay, and the next would be a motion for the approval of the agenda with the added item as presented.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and second. Roll call.
Mayor Bruin,
Aye.
Mr. Blades,
Aye.
Mr. Rajaratnam,
Aye.
Mr. Heyman,
Aye.
Mr. Gorman.
Aye.
5 ayes, motion carries.
Okay, we'll go ahead and open our regular session. If I can ask everyone to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. And let's see, I need an invocation. I need somebody to run it. I believe our incoming mayor, Mr. Endicott. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Councilman Rajaratnam, if you'd lead us in the invocation, please.
Please bow down and join me in prayer if you would. Oh God, we come before you today with gratitude. We thank you for being with us throughout this year and guiding us. You have never left us or forsaken us. Your grace has brought us thus far. We thank you for the calling you have given to the City Council to serve this community and its resources. As we close this calendar year, I thank you tonight, God, for our mayor, our city council members, our city manager, our department heads, our city staff, our first responders, our hospital staff, and all those who work to make this place, the place we call home, such a wonderful city. I ask you to give your joy and your peace to all of us during this Christmas time. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, first item on our agenda this evening is our public comment session. Public comment is for persons wishing to address the council on matters that are within the council's jurisdiction and do not already appear on the agenda. May do so at this time. Council will not respond to any public comments, but may provide direction to staff to collect additional information. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the City Council may not act on an item that does not appear on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes, and the public comment section of the agenda is limited to a total of 1 hour. Each speaker is asked to provide his or her name, and we'll go ahead and begin with public comment from the floor. Is there any public comment from the floor?
Good afternoon. My name is Eddie Edwards, and this afternoon I just want to invite the public and council persons to the Resurrecting Unity of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We're asking you to join us in a celebration of unity at Crossroads Community Church on January 20th from noon to 2 p.m. And the subject is, I Have Decided to Love. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any other public comment from the floor?
Ronald Porter. I have to say I'm disappointed with this council if they continue with the nomination of the appointments tonight, because they're failing to follow our republic form of government and our constitutional requirements.
Mayor, that item is on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
No, it is not.
The closed session item is now on the agenda, sir.
I'm not talking about the closed section.
No,
You're talking about the swearing in of the individuals?
talking
That is
about,
on the
yes.
agenda. The certification of election results is item number
No,
6.
you want me to comment then? There's no comment after that. That's just saying you're doing something. It's not a discussion, so I have to have right to comment now.
Sure, go ahead.
Basically, California election law says the clerk shall print in, and she did it, that offices are filled either temporarily or part-time or full. The notice that they gave to the public was it was going to be for a full term. And if that's not followed, then that's fraud on the people and is violation of California election law. I contacted the Secretary of State's office, and they said it wasn't appropriate. It falls down to the Kern County, because they run the elections under the law, it falls down to the Kern County Election Board to act on it. We need to comply with the law, even if it takes a while. We need to find out what the answers are and not put someone in that's going to cause us a problem or deceive the voters of Ridgecrest, which voted thinking he was going to have full term, and he doesn't. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other public comment from the floor? Please, let's not do what we do, guys. Just, if you have a public comment, please come to the podium. We'd be loving to hear you, even if it's boo.
Don't boo me. Joe Shermer, came a couple years ago, brought up an issue about streetlights for safety. Councilmember Blades and I kind of rehashed it a little bit. I just want to make everyone aware. A lot of the neighborhoods in town, including the Ridgecrest Heights area, are almost third world countries when it comes to safety with the lighting. Now, back then, my daughter was under 10 years old. I have a son who's turning 2. My daughter will be 17, so it's been many years and still no real progression. So I'd like to once again bring that up to you guys. And I offered a solution. I know Councilmember Blades and I already talked about it. The solar lighting, the batteries are good for 12 years. They're not crazy expensive. We need to start addressing those issues for safety, because thank heavens, again, like I said last time I was here, that the houses in my neighborhood actually have bright lights on the outside, because otherwise you couldn't see anything. So if you guys ever have a chance to, not during Christmas time, because everyone's got their Christmas lights up, so it's brighter than heck. But after Christmas, drive those streets, drive those areas, take a look. You'll see for yourselves. So think about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment from the floor? Is there any public comment on the phones? Caller, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, this is Renee Westa-Lusk. I live within Ridgecrest city limits. I am a Ridgecrest voter. I want to say again, for the third time, I'm very thankful for this wonderful city council we've had. For the last 4 years, the council before that was elected for 2 years, and then this council and our mayor, I can't thank you enough for all of your accomplishments, and I also thank the city manager and the city staff and everyone involved with the city of Ridgecrest for everything you do for us to keep our city going and our community going. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Renee. Gotta get this thing turned on again. Travis, the microphones are very delicate. They're very delicate. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Is there any other public comment on the phones? No other public comment from the floor? No other public comment from the floor. We did have a request and advice from council. If there's anybody who would like to make comment on item number 6, we would welcome them to make comment now at public comment. Okay. Next item is our council announcements and direction. Is there any council announcements or direction? Mr. Gorman?
No.
Mr. Ammon?
None.
Dr. Ottenham?
Also, just real quick, Travis, I did mention to Joe about the lights that you were already testing out over town. You had different ones. Maybe if you had a chance, you could run into Joe in the hall and just explain to him where we're at with those.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too, is everybody who's been at the new intersection at Bowman and Downs, we're testing one of the solar lights for just that purpose to hopefully be able to get them to the heights. We are very, very well aware, and we appreciate the comment. The last two solar lights went up today? Okay. We are trying to test exactly for that purpose to make sure how they would work and what their lifespans look like. Okay. Next would be the consent calendar. All items listed on the consent are considered to be routine and non-controversial by city staff. Consent items may be approved by one motion if no member of the council or audience wishes to comment or ask questions. If comment or discussion is desired by anyone, the item will be removed from the consent calendar and will be considered in listed sequence, with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the city council concerning the item before action is taken. I'll now read the 4 items on the consent calendar. First is the proposed action to approve the draft minutes of the Ridgecrest City Council regular meeting dated December 4th, 2024. The second item is proposed action to adopt a resolution of the Ridgecrest City Council reciting the facts of the consolidated general municipal election held on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, declaring the results and such other matters as provided by law. Number 3 is a resolution of the Ridgecrest City Council adopting the updated City of Ridgecrest personnel rules and regulations. And item number 4 is authorization for the city manager, Ron Strand, to sign the notice of completion for the Leroy Jackson Tennis Courts resurfacing project for the city clerk to file the notice of completion, and for city staff to release retention in the amount of $36,578.60 to the contractor Supreme Courts Construction within 30 days after recordation of the notice of completion. Does any member of the council wish to have an item pulled? Hearing none, does any member of the public wish to have an item pulled? Hearing none, do I have a motion for approval of the consent calendar as presented?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Roll call.
Mayor Bruin?
Aye.
Mr. Blades?
Aye.
Mr. Rajaratnam?
Aye.
Mr. Heyman?
Aye.
Mr. Gorman?
Aye.
5 ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is we have a few presentations today, so I am going to be quiet and I believe hand it over to Mr. Strand.
Mayor Bruin, can you join me down here at the podium, please?
I can't, sir.
And may I suggest that maybe the other members of the city council, staff, and Travis Reed? We're going to have 2 Travises now, Travis Endicott and Travis Reed, so I'll probably just say Mayor Endicott to you instead of what you suggested, so we'll, maybe later on. Okay. Right up here. So we're going to start off, we have a short little proclamation for you, proclamation for citizen and Mayor Eric Bruin, which reads as follows. Whereas Eric Bruin was appointed to serve on the Ridgecrest City Council as mayor and installed on December 16th, 2020, and whereas throughout his tenure, giving generously on his time on various other city committees and organizations vital to this community, and whereas Eric has been an avid supporter of local schools, businesses, infrastructure needs within the community, And whereas Eric has worked tirelessly to create new laws, policies that support and improve local government, that help local officials provide better service to our community, now therefore be proclaimed, the City Council of the City of Ridgecrest does hereby honor, recognize, and extend our appreciation to Eric Bruin for his devotional and exceptional services to this community and for his dedication to the City of Ridgecrest. Proclaimed December 18th, 2024 by Mayor Travis Endicott, soon to be, Mayor-elect I would say, and the rest of the council members. Of course, with you tonight, you'll be able to take your placard that has your mayor title on it. You can take that with you. Mayor-elect Endicott, it's going to be probably to the next meeting before we have yours because we have to redo all the tiles. So to give him one, we have to start over again. But we do have a plaque here for you to place in your office. Mayor Bruin, and appreciate your service with the City of Ridgecrest 2020 to 2024, presented this 18th day, 2004. Our community is a better place because of you. We deeply grateful for your dedicated service.
Thank you, sir.
So I have to say, the mayor-city manager relationship it's a close relationship.
It is.
It is nearly daily conversations, sometimes multiple times during the day, just to keep you apprised of stuff going on within the city, some of the issues we have. I will say that the 4 years you've been mayor have been a pleasure to serve as your city manager. You are an excellent mayor. I would say without you, we probably would not have had Measure P. We would not have had the push towards a new public pool, and hopefully we're going to be breaking ground on that here after a while. So to measure your time in office, I think you've done an excellent job. I think the community's going quite a bit further. I think our future is very positive. I think we are poised to continue down this path for quite some time, and you were a big part of that. So with that, I do want to say thank you for your time. I know how much time you spent away from your family, and I'm sure you're going to fill it with other misdeeds, I would assume.
Myself busy.
Yeah, well, keep yourself busy. But anyway, I want to just personally thank you for your time. And I don't think anybody realizes how much time really goes into being mayor. All of the committees, all the meetings, all the public presentations, all of the time with the press out of Bakersfield, the dealing with the elected officials. I really don't think people really understand how much that job there is. And also on top of that, being the public lightning rod for the City of Ridgecrest. So I do appreciate your time, and I want to personally thank you. And I think behind me, I think I have Deputy City Manager Travis Reed has something for you to present also.
So, first of all, I just want to take the time and tell you thank you very much for all you've done for my department, for Parks, for all of us here at the city. You have a knack for turning any problem into a bright spot, so don't ever lose that. With that, we made you
A sign to go with the sign.
yes,
I love it.
a sign to go with the sign. E. Bruin Way.
Order
I felt
66.
like Bruin Way described kind of our 4 years with you. And then I'll leave Order 66 for you to understand. Anybody else that knows Star Wars might figure it out.
Exactly what that is. Yeah.
So, from all of us here at the city, all the staff, thank you so much for your 4 years. We greatly appreciate it. And don't be a stranger, sir.
I'm not intending to be. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good evening. It has been my honor to work with Mayor Eric Bruin for the past 4 years. I want to thank you, Mayor Bruin, for your service to our community for the past 4 years as mayor of this city. You have achieved great things during these past 4 years. You worked hard, you took the lead for everything. And some of your achievements I'd mention is the infrastructure for the past 4 years, the quality of life improvement for the past 4 years, the passing of Measure P, by which we are going to build a state-of-the-art swimming pool in Ridgecrest, and the passing of Measure V, by which we have funding in the future for RPD as well as working on the infrastructure. And the rapport you developed with the base, that has helped us a lot. And you have created a momentum, and we have seen growth in Ridgecrest during the past 4 years. Thank you very much. And you had faced tough times during the past 4 years, I should say, starting with the twin earthquakes in 2019, the after effects of that, and then the COVID from 2020 to 2022, and then the once in 100 years Hurricane Hillary that has flooded, okay, that has flooded Ridgecrest. You have navigated those situations successfully, and I know how much time you have spent for City of Ridgecrest while working for Desert Valleys and being a loving husband and father of 4 children. So you have given your wholehearted time. I know I sat next to your office for the past 2 years. I have seen how hard you work. So there is no doubt about that. Thank you very much for what you have done. So I wish you good luck in the future. And again, it has been an honor to work with you during the past 4 years. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're speaking too? Oh, this should be fun.
Well, no, I'm not as eloquent as Solomon
Okay.
is.
Solomon's gonna bring me tears. You here.
Yeah. So I've told the story before, but for those that don't know, the first time I met Eric, I told him I probably wasn't going to like him. And he met with me and he said, Kyle, we may be working together, so we got to have some conversations. And I said, you're darn right we do. And we had some very hard talks. We talked about how we saw things, how we were going to work through things, and where we thought this community should go. And I had to eat a little bit of humble pie by even the end of the conversation because we were a lot more in line than I thought we were going to be. But I still left him with the impression that we're going to have to work on this. We're going to be adversarial. We'll get there. And then I found myself, Eric, like any good, true leader, he endeared all of us to him. And I think that the city of Ridgecrest, that was its moment. It needed somebody like Eric to get the things done that got done. I believe every leader has their time. And Eric showed up right when Ridgecrest needed to get a lot of things over the hump and to get some momentum. And yes, I think the council and the city will continue to benefit from your legacy for some time to come. Eric, you've done an amazing job, and I have been able to, over the last couple of years, call you a friend.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Dear friend.
Before you go anywhere,
We got some other
we have a couple community members who would like to present you something, Eric, so come on up.
Trying to keep it together here.
You're doing a great job.
I put one person to sleep.
We haven't spoken. It's best to us.
It's perfectly fair. One person left, so I understand completely.
Hi, I'm Donna Hawker, and on behalf of the Ridgecrest Area Association of Realtors, we would like to give you a certificate of appreciation. And Eric, I have to brag about you a little bit. You have always been available to our association and to us. Any questions we had, any concerns we had, you were a text away, and we knew that you were going to respond, and you did. So we feel so fortunate that we had that relationship with you, and we just want to thank you for the service that you did for our community.
All right, and just,
From the chamber.
yes, on.
My old home.
Exactly, so just a certificate of recognition presented to you for outstanding and invaluable service to the community. The Ridgecrest Chamber of Commerce extends its gratitude to you for your excellent service as mayor of the city of Ridgecrest. And we are very grateful.
Is that it?
That would be it.
I have prepared words that I'm going to go back to the dais and say because that's how I'll be best to say them. But I'm going to just say this very briefly is oh, no, please. I I stand here.
We won't get a second chance at this, but I'm going to follow some real kind and meaningful comments by the fellow council members. And I just want to reiterate that it has been an honor working with you, Mayor Bruin, and I've seen you tackle the hard items that came before us, whether it was the redistricting and hearing the story of you standing in line at the supermarket or at the store, talking with these various very important individuals in the state on redistricting of this area. And I've seen your work on the annexation and thinking about the future of Ridgecrest, not just the now. And someday I'd like to see that, to come to fruition and be a wonderful asset to the city. I've seen your work on finance department and your brilliance on finance and seeing money that could make us money and actually improve upon the finances of this city. I'm going to miss you dearly on that finance committee. And it goes on through the parks and again, everything that has been said tonight. It truly has been an honor. And like Councilman Blades said, I consider you a friend and look forward to your future work in the city. I know you won't go away, and then maybe envy a little bit about having a little more family time with your family and getting to spend time with everybody, and redirect that and catch up. So anyway, it's an honor, sir.
Thank you, sir. So like I said, I'm going to go back to the dais and make my comments, but just Ron and Travis and the entire city staff, I've said it many times before, the one thing the citizens don't understand is one of the best things that we have is our city staff and how hard they are willing to work for our community. We get to take the public slings and arrows sometimes and some of the public praise, but it's really them who do the work. And so everything that you just heard, I could not have done without the city staff, and I just cannot reiterate that strong enough. So thank you to them all, and thank you for Order 66, pretty good. I mean, it's not quite as good as Get Her Done, but it's right up there, okay, my friends? So thank you very much, and we'll all return to the dais. I'll have a few words, and then we'll close. Well, thank you again, everyone, for the kind words, and let me take a moment and thank the communication staff for the incredible clone trooper bouquet of flowers, which I think is absolutely awesome, and the picture that I'm sure will be on my Facebook tomorrow when it says former mayor. I have comments that I wrote, and I thought it was best for me to just say them the same way I've always done from up here, and that is I've always tried to speak from the heart, from the dais, about what Ridgecrest is and about so many things. So I'm just going to do it my last time, and then I'm going to take my exit stage left. I'm going to try not to break down in this because this is emotional for me. So with these final comments, my time as mayor for the incredible city of Ridgecrest has come to an end. I will be forever appreciative of the opportunity given to me to be of service to the community I love. During my time, there's been many hard decisions which I still believe were the best course for the future of our community, but the incredible brilliance of our American democracy is that the power lies in the voters. As humbled as I was to be elected, I will be equally respectful in exiting. The mayor of Ridgecrest holds no different authority than any other council member. When I was first elected, it was described to me as a lightning rod. I've learned that means that you get to be both a voice for the community and the punching bag for the community. But the key is that nothing is accomplished without the support of an incredible city staff to implement and accomplish the goals of the council. I've enjoyed working with all of them, and I thank them for all that we've accomplished together. I am thankful to the citizens for selecting Kyle Blades and Solomon Rajaratnam to continue to serve on council, and it's been my honor to serve with both of you gentlemen. Over the past 4 years, I've appreciated our shared vision of fiscal responsibility, transparency, and getting things done for the citizens. I'm confident that they, alongside Councilman Heyman and Councilman Gorman, will keep the course to ensure the important projects move forward, and it's been a pleasure to serve with you two gentlemen as well. With Measure P and the renewed Measure V, we have solved a challenge which has plagued our city for years. Revenue has always been our biggest challenge, And I know that I will be forever proud to have addressed this issue directly and without compromise. We are far less dependent today on the state or county in ensuring that the quality of life within our community is addressed moving forward. This will help us to ensure that many of the other projects that I've started and have not seen completed hopefully reach their end. This includes the rebuilding of Penny Pool, the land annexation legislation, a new inclusive playground at Freedom Park, advocating for health care, and holding the course on resolving our water future. The old saying is, no good deed goes unpunished, and I'd be lying if I didn't say I feel that some today. We faced hard issues during my term, and I remain steadfast in my belief that facing them head-on and with a plan is always better than the level of inaction we had experienced in the past. I wish Mayor Endicott the best of luck and encourage him to be as active and involved in the community as I have tried to be. From delivering our message to Washington, D.C., to family celebrations, the role of mayor is about celebrating everything which makes Ridgecrest special. To all of my supporters, thank you for all the kind words and support. My service to Ridgecrest is far from over. I am proud to lead a great organization and thank the entire team at Desert Valleys Federal Credit Union for being so generous and supportive of me for the past 4 years. I could go on and on with offering thanks, but I will simply say that it was a community of people, from my Follies family, to my chamber family, to my credit union family, to my city family, which has helped to guide, educate, mentor, and prepare me for this journey. Thank you all so much. Let me also take one moment to thank one person specifically. I'd like to thank my friend and my mentor, Chip Holloway. There would not be a Mayor Bruin if there was not a Chip Holloway. Chip has been my mentor and my guide for the 21 years I've lived in this community, and he introduced me to politics at the very beginning, so much so that the Speaker of the House knew me as Shorts Eric for my entire time knowing Kevin McCarthy. Why? Because somebody didn't tell me to wear something other than shorts to meet a state assemblyman. Chip, nobody understands the 3 decades of love that you've given this community. Nobody has ever offered you the respect you deserve for everything you've done for this community. I will be the person here who says it. I am redeeming 21, my friend. You have done so much for this community, and they will always be a reason that things have happened, and you have been behind so many of them. Thank you for your service. Now I'll pain myself. I have not bought this man anything in 20 years of friendship that indicates that I support LSU. But yet today, come on.
Oh, he's wearing shorts.
Excellent, right there, right there. Thank you, Kyle. That man hired me. That man brought me to this community 21 years ago. I love Ridgecrest. I am so proud to be a part of this community, and I thank everyone for giving me the chance to serve. And so I will simply say at the end, finally, to my wife and my children, thank you for making the sacrifices so I could serve my community, and Daddy's coming home. God bless America. God bless Ridgecrest. Thank you. Okay. And with that, I move off. And I call presentation item number 6, administration and presentation of certificate of election and oaths of office to newly elected mayor and council members. Ms. Charlon, it's all yours.
if I could have Mr. Rajaratnam, Mr. Blades, and Mr. Endicott join me here up front. Let me gather myself. You guys all stand up there and face them.
Do you want all of us out there?
No, have a seat.
They're getting sworn in.
Oh.
I'm going to swear you all in at the same time, so if you would repeat after me, please, raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly affirm. That I will support and defend. The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California,
That I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
And that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations to each of you. Kyle, this is yours. You can sign that one. Solomon. And there. Would be yours.
Do I need to put the name tag on?
You do not.
Okay. Okay. Awesome, everyone's looking. All right, so I guess now we move on to discussion and action items.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do I just list all of them?
Nope, we're going to do one at a time, so you can just say
Awesome.
number 7 and read it, and then we'll go on.
Okay, discussion, action item number 7, nomination and appointment of mayor pro tem and vice mayor. Rika?
So I have this on the agenda more as a reminder to let you all know that we need to appoint a mayor pro tem and a vice mayor. The mayor pro tem is second in line, and when Mr. Endicott can't be here, they would run the meeting. Then when mayor can't be here, nor can mayor pro tem the vice mayor, because you can run a meeting with 3, so we have to have the 3 of you. We don't plan to nominate tonight. We are going to wait till the next meeting. It is on here to just start the conversation, let you guys know that you need to be thinking about it, and we will not have a January 2nd meeting because of the holiday. That one is canceled. So at the second meeting in January, we will be doing the mayor pro tem and the vice mayor nominations. Keep in mind with this one and the next one, the Brown Act, you can't, talk to more than 2 of you and decide what you want to do. So keep that in mind, but you're welcome to definitely have conversations with one or the other, just not all of them.
Just to clarify, you can't talk to more than
Yes.
one other person, not
Yes.
2 other people.
Okay, so that's all there is on that one. So there's no motion, no action on that tonight. And with that said, I can move straight into the second one for the city council committees if you'd like. In the agenda, I believe I placed this committees list. These are all committees that the council serves on. Right now, we need to reorganize all of these committees on who's going to serve and also reappoint or appoint new people for some of the committees, citizens. So again, this is on there just to spur the conversation, make you start thinking, re-talk to these people if you want to, appoint a new person if you want to. I can certainly put out an ad and ask for citizen service applications if you need people. You just got to let me know what you'd like me to do, if you need help filling some of these positions, or if you need contact information on some of them, just let me know and we can do that. So again, this is to let you know that we need to start talking about this on the 15th, and it would be great if we could appoint the majority of them on the 15th or the first meeting in February. Does anybody have any questions? We all good?
Yeah, all good.
Good? All right, then we can move on to number 9, sir.
All right, so number 9, discussion regarding the Board of the Indian Wells Valley Groundwater Authority. Mr. Heyman?
Thank you, Mayor. The Indian Wells Valley Groundwater Authority did meet last Wednesday on December 11th, and I will go over some of the highlights and the agenda items of that meeting. Start with item number 10, which was the Resolution 03-24 regarding the 2025 board rotation. So that entailed, currently the way the board is rotating is between the city and the county due to ongoing litigation that prohibits the water district from serving in that position, so that was approved by the board. Item number 11 was the board review and approval of the 2025 budget. That was again approved by the board. Item number 12, board review and approval of the 2025 legislative agenda, 2025 Capital Corps Group Work Plan and Contract Amendment. Capital Corps has done a tremendous job for the GA in this community, and that was approved by the board. Item number 13 was the board review and approval of communications agreement with Westbound Communications. I was particularly pleased to see that on the agenda and that it was approved by the board. Westbound will help with the communications of the Groundwater Authority in meeting the needs that I think we have as far as improving the communications of the GA with the community in different aspects, whether it's projects or accomplishments or goals of the GA. Item number 14 was the board review and approval of amendment number 1 to agreement for professional legal services with Richards, Watson, and Gershon. That is one of the legal attorney groups that we utilize with the GA to battle in the legal arena. And that closes up the primary agenda items. We had 2 major developments that recently have occurred that I wanted to talk a little bit about. One was a settlement with Mojave Pistachios. And so I'm just going to cover some of the basic tenets of that settlement. One, it will end the legal disputes in the battle between the GA and Mojave Pistachios, which will save both entities a lot of money in the legal arena. 2, there's a second transient pool that was created in which Mojave and Small Ag will be, it was created, which they will be able to pump from at a per acre foot, which will, that fee will go up in the number of acre feet pumped over the relegated time. And 3rd, Mojave Pistachio will be allowed to argue for a water right in the adjudication until the rest of the lawsuits will be dropped between the 2 parties, but they will still hold a right to seek, a water right through the adjudication process. So that was a big development. The second major development is pertains to WRDA and the interconnection pipeline. So WRDA is the Water Resource Development Act. In that, the 2024 WRDA legislation, we have a project ask of $50 million for the interconnect project. I'm happy to say that bill has moved through as a bipartisan, bicameral bill, meaning it has been supported by both the Republican and the Democratic parties on both sides. The bill passed through the House committees and through the House itself for the vote. It was then passed over to the Senate. It went through the committee and the procedural vote, and today was passed by the Senate. So it awaits the signature from the current president, which is anticipated. I don't like to count my eggs until they're chickens, but so we will wait until we have that firm, formal, signed agreement. So, and for those that, just a little update on WERDA. So basically, WERDA allows the Army Corps of Engineers to undertake locally driven resource and infrastructure projects that deliver regional and national benefit. So the Army Corps of Engineers will play a big part in this. And this funding and the Interconnect project meets both of those needs. It is a major regional benefit to the citizens of this valley, to the citizens of Ridgecrest, and to our naval base, China Lake. And it also meets a national level of a need, and that is the national security interest of China Lake. And so it does meet both the regional and the national requirements. So, but with that, that's all I have. I will update everybody on the further progress of WERDA on a later meeting. So, thank you, Mayor.
All right, so next we go into committee reports. It looks like the only one that has a report is from the Finance Committee, and unfortunately with Mayor Bruin not being here, Councilman Heyman, do you have a report on that?
I do. I was more concerned with water tonight, and I may not have my finance notes, but I'll just recollect off of, so basically, overall funding, it looks good. We updated whether it was Measure P.
I was secretly going to enjoy you calling Eric back up here to do a report.
No, we won't need to. I'm sure we won't need to do that. And so it was rather brief. We went through the city finances and Measure P, Measure V, the TLT. Overall, the finances are looking good for the city. There's nothing really major to report out at this point in time. The employment compensation study continues to be ongoing, and we'll be updating on that in a future meeting. There's no new news on that. But for those that are haven't seen what occurred in the past, we had an employee compensation study done a few years back, and it was very successful. We were able to bring look at the employees' pay rates and bring a little more consistency to pay scales within the city employees and health benefits. So it's been, prior to that, there hadn't been a COLA raise or a raise in like over a decade. So, and this is a continuation of that. We promised that we would do ongoing updates of it and stay on top of it and not let it fall back into the drithers that it was in prior to us taking on this task. So, and that pretty much takes care of the finance.
We did cover the Wolf Hansen, the bonding for the pool.
Oh, yes. Do you want
Yeah,
to touch base with that?
You talked about certificate of participation for the pool.
For the bonds?
For the bonds.
Yeah, that's what
Lease,
Ron was just
okay.
talking about, yeah. So we looked at we met with Wolf Hansen on the bonds, and there's a couple options as far as which direction we want to take. One entails going with the full amount financed with the bonds, and the other one entails putting some money down as a down payment to reduce the total capital so that we can, would have a less to pay back, save money, and would have more inflow into the financial coffers of the city. We're going to be looking further into that. I don't know if you have any specifics, Ron, that you would like to add?
Yeah, we plan on bringing it to council during the January 15th meeting
Okay.
for approval to give authority for those bond issuance when the time's right.
Okay. And as it sits, and the way it sat that evening was that we hadn't really confirmed one direction, but we're kind of leaning.
Yeah,
more
we're leaning
toward-
towards, it depends on what the bid price comes back on the pool and how we want to structure the financing on it. But however we structure the financing will be obviously to the benefit to the budget and the
Yes, we won't
project.
comment too much as far as the firm decision on it, but, okay, thank you for bringing that up, and I believe that covers the finance, so.
All right, so we'll move on to other committees, boards, or commissions. Does anyone have anything to report? Seeing none, we'll go to the city manager report.
I have nothing to report this time.
All right, are there any future agenda items that anyone wants to be added?
None.
Awesome, this is going great. All right. So next we'll go to
It's all going to, it's uphill from here.
Yeah,
Mayor.
awesome. Mayor and council comments? Councilman Gorin?
No, I have no comment.
Councilman Heyman?
Mayor Endicott, I want to congratulate you on your campaign and your being our new mayor, and I wish you great success in it, and welcome to this dais.
Thank you very much. Councilman Rajaratnam?
I want to thank the community for re-electing me and bestowing their confidence on me and Kyle Blades by electing us for the second term. And once again, I want to thank Mayor Bruin. Mayor? Yeah.
Still Mayor Bruin.
Still Mayor.
Mayor Bruin.
Mayor Bruin for your service to our community. And I want to recognize your wife Sharon for taking care of the kids while you were busy running around with Desert Valley, City of Ridgecrest, as well as so many other things. And lastly, I want to welcome and congratulate Mayor Travis Endicott. You have run a very silent, great campaign. So thank you very much for your efforts to be on the council to serve this community. And you have seen the development that has taken place during the past 4 months. You have acknowledged that. So I hope you continue that momentum, and we are here to help you if we are all going in the right direction. And once again, I welcome you to City Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll echo Mr. Rajaratnam's comments. Welcome to the council. Thank you for picking up the mantle. Here you are, and it'll be a ride, but it'll be worth it. The duty of this job is worth it. That's what it's all about, is giving back to the community and being that person when people have questions. I want to use this time to thank people. I'm indebted to so much of the community for believing in me, for continuing to vote for me, for to ask me to be here. And I am never going to be able to pay my wife back for all the time and the heartache and my ranting around the kitchen, bouncing questions off of her, her telling me to calm down. I'm not going to be able to repay you for all that you've given me, and you have been the one person I could, out of everybody, I've relied on you so much, and I'm forever in your debt. I see so much family sitting here too. My sister, she is, Desi in any crowd. My brother Matt, thank you for being here. Avery and Carol, Sandy, thank you. Mom, a lot of my sense of duty comes from you, and I appreciate it. Kenny, thank you for being you, man. Thank you for being you. A lot of people don't see this, but your kindness and compassion has taught me a lot. Dad, thank you for teaching me when to budge and when not to. Sis, thank you for being here. I'm sure you're very glad that you moved back to Ridgecrest. Danny, your creativity and talent, I still talk about it with Brianna. I don't tell you that because you're my father-in-law, but I tell Brianna all the time about how much I appreciate you. Larry, you're there anytime anybody even speaks your name. Thank you. And Deb, you've been a huge supporter of mine, and you let me know too. Thank you. I appreciate you. There's some dear friends sitting out in the audience as well. Lindsay Fleury, the Fleury girls, thank you for being here. It means a great deal to me. I appreciate all of you that are sitting out there, because I'm sure that your girls wanted to be at a city council meeting tonight, but they're here, and it means a great deal to see them out in the crowd, because I'm going to remember this for a long time. Thanks for being here, Carrie, Donnie. Chief, you're cool. We'll see, we have some relationship building to do. Travis, I always appreciate you. I give you a lot of grief, man, but you give it right back to me, and that's how these relationships are supposed to be. Narissa, you have probably taken the most calls from me all the time, besides Ron, because I never quit bothering Ron, but you're right behind, and I appreciate that. You picked up the mantle for Cherie, and that is going to be painful. I'm not even going to hide it, so thank you. There's more out in the community, but I just wanted to make sure I said your names out loud because it's important to be acknowledged. It'll be recorded forever. And I'll end it with Mr. Bruin. You you know, I know you guys all thought I was joking, and I was, but I was adversarial with Eric when it all began, and for good reason. I told him that he was going to have a hard campaign, and I told him that I wasn't always going to agree with him, and I held true to that in a very Ken Blades way. I did not let things go. I didn't move an inch when I thought it was important, but Eric could often talk me a mile if that's the direction we needed to go, and I believe that's how things should be. He bounced a lot of good ideas off me. He taught me a lot, and I hope that I had some sort of an impression on him. Thank you all that are out in the audience for being there for me. Thank you all that are watching, and it'll be my honor to serve.
Thank you. All right, so I want to start off by saying thank you to Mayor Bruin. It was a very respectful campaign. I used to teach politics, and I would constantly tell my students, why in the world would anyone ever run for office? All you do is get pointed at and yelled at and said whatever about, and you really don't have a chance to defend yourself. And so I appreciate the campaign. I'm sure you and I both didn't think that I would win, but we all got surprised on the day after the election. So I do want to say thank you to my wife, my daughter who's here, my son who's at basketball. I'll force him to watch the YouTube clip of this later. But also I want to thank my coworker, Fee, for coming, showing up. Good to see you. So I sit before you today deeply honored and profoundly grateful for the opportunity to serve this community as your mayor. Ridgecrest is more than just a place that where I live. It's a home built on the strength of its people, its values, its military history, and its potential. I want to thank the residents of the city for placing their trust in me, and that trust is not something that I take lightly. It is something I intend to honor every day in this role. When I decided to run for mayor, it wasn't because I wanted the title or the recognition. It was because I felt called to serve, to stand up for the city, and to make sure citizen voices are not just heard, but respected and acted upon. I believe we should aspire to elect people who feel duty-bound to serve, not those seeking power for personal gain, but those committed to putting the community's needs ahead of their own. I'm not a business owner, nor do I have any financial interest in having this position. I'm here to be someone who treats everyone equally, and I'm here to help. You'll hear that a lot from me during my tenure. I'm here to help. That stance will guide me throughout my time in this office. One of my main priorities is ensuring the council becomes a true reflection of the community. The best decisions come when people feel empowered to speak up and share their perspectives. That's why I want to create an environment where you, the residents of Ridgecrest, feel comfortable bringing your concerns, your ideas, and even your frustrations to this council. I promise you this, I will listen. I will take your concerns seriously, and I will work with my colleagues up here to ensure that your voices shape the future of our city. I also want to assure you that my door is always open, whether it's a personal issue, a neighborhood challenge, or a citywide matter. I want everyone to feel comfortable coming to me. I'm here to serve you, no matter your background, your opinions, or your circumstances. I'm committed to ensuring that everyone in Ridgecrest feels seen, heard, and valued. In the coming months and years, my goal is to lead with humility and integrity, to work collaboratively with this council, and to focus on what's best for our community. Together, I believe we can achieve great things and we can continue the success that the city has had. Thank you for the opportunity to serve, and thank you for being here tonight. Those watching online, Rafe, that means you. Let's move forward together, listening to one another, respecting one another, and building a city that we can all be proud of. Thank you. So we will now convene to close session. Again, I want to thank all that have attended. You may stay and wait. I don't know how long it will be, but we will report out of closed session, so the YouTube live stream will be available till we come out.
And for the record, Mayor, one item will be considered in closed session, which was added to the agenda by council's action, and that's potential litigation under 54956.9D4. And Councilmember Blades will be excused from the closed session.
City Attorney, would you like to
Thank
report?
you. Honorable Mayor and council members, one item was considered in closed session by the council and is potential litigation under 54956.9D4. No reportable actions were taken by the council in closed session. Thank you.
All right, well, that adjourns our meeting. Thank you. Everyone have a wonderful evening. That's it. Yes, Merry Christmas. Oh.